Ladies and gentlemen, there is a language beyond words, a language of intention, sincerity, and the heart's deepest desires. A woman speaks not just with her lips, but with her spirit, revealing what she values and cherishes. When she truly admires a man, when she sees him as someone worth investing in, she will say things that carry weight, words that are more than casual conversation. If you pay attention, you will recognize the signs of her affection. She will say, "I love spending time with you." This is more than a statement, it's an invitation. A woman does not waste her time where she feels unappreciated. When she expresses joy in your presence, it is because she finds something in you that makes her world a little brighter. She is telling you that your energy, your essence, your being is something she values. She will say, "What do you think about this?" Because admiration is rooted in respect. And when a woman values a man, she seeks his wisdom. She is not looking for mere validation. She wants your insight, your perspective, your guidance. She is telling you that your mind is something she admires and your leadership is something she trusts. She will say, "You're different from the rest." This is not a mere compliment. It is a revelation. She has observed you, studied your ways, and concluded that you stand out. She sees your strength, your values, and your discipline. She recognizes that you are not led by the crowd, but by conviction. A woman does not say this lightly. She says it when she sees a man of substance. She will say, "I've never told anyone this before. Vulnerability is not given to just anyone. It is reserved for those who have earned trust." When a woman opens her heart, sharing her dreams, her fears, and her past, she is revealing not just who she is, but who she hopes to become. And in that moment, she is telling you that you are someone she feels safe with. She will say, "We should do this together." The language of partnership is spoken by those who see a future. She is not just thinking about today, she is envisioning tomorrow. When she speaks of we instead of I, she is extending an unspoken invitation into her life. A woman who is interested in a man does not plan her future without considering him in it. She will say, "I noticed you like this." A woman who likes a man will remember what he loves. She listens with intention, absorbs his interests, and even makes efforts to bring joy in small ways. This is not about grand gestures, but about attentiveness. If she remembers the details you once mentioned in passing, it means you are important to her. She will say, "Are you okay? You don't seem yourself." True care is shown in concern. When a woman likes a man, she is not just drawn to his strengths, but also sensitive to his struggles. She will notice when something is off, when your energy shifts, when your heart carries a silent burden. This is love in action. Because real affection is not just about admiration, but about standing with someone in both joy and hardship. So when you hear these words, do not dismiss them as casual talk. They are signals, signs of a heart that sees you, values you, and believes in you. But remember this, these words are not given freely to just anyone. They are spoken when a woman has found a man she deems worthy. The question is, are you that man? When a woman values your presence, it is not just about enjoying your company. It is about the way she feels when you are around. She does not seek time with just anyone. She invests in those who bring peace, strength, and a sense of purpose into her life. When she genuinely appreciates your presence, you will notice it in her words, her actions, and even in the way she looks at you. She expresses her appreciation by wanting to be near you, not out of necessity, but out of desire. She may not always say it directly, but her excitement when she sees you, the way she leans in when you speak, and how she engages in meaningful conversations, all reflect that she finds value in your presence. When a woman respects a man, she wants to be in his space because she feels enriched by his energy. She makes time for you despite her busy schedule. A woman who values a man's presence will never be too busy to engage with him. She will find ways to include him in her day, whether through a simple text, a call, or making plans to see him. She does not view spending time with him as an obligation, but as something she genuinely enjoys. She listens attentively when you speak, absorbing your words, responding thoughtfully, and remembering the details of what you share. This is because she is not just hearing your voice, she is connecting with your thoughts, your ideas, and the essence of who you are. A woman who values a man's presence does not just exist beside him. She actively engages, seeking to understand him more deeply. When a woman seeks your opinion, it is a sign that she values your wisdom, trusts your judgment, and respects your perspective. She does not ask just anyone for advice. She chooses to consult those she believes have insight, experience, and a solid foundation. This is not about small talk. It is about placing weight on your thoughts and seeing you as a source of guidance. She comes to you with decisions, whether big or small, because she believes your input matters. She may ask for your advice on career choices, personal growth, or even small daily matters like what book to read or which path to take in a difficult situation. This is not just curiosity. It is an unspoken acknowledgement that she sees you as a leader, someone whose perspective carries significance in her life. She listens with intent when you share your thoughts. A woman who values a man's opinion does not simply ask and then disregard what he says. She actively engages in the conversation, asking follow-up questions, considering his words carefully, and sometimes even changing her course of action based on what he shares. This is a sign that she does not just hear him, she truly respects him. She seeks your perspective not for validation, but for wisdom. She is not looking for empty approval, but for deeper insight. When a woman asks for your opinion, she wants to know what you think, not just what she wants to hear. This means she trusts you to be honest, to guide her in truth, and to offer perspectives that challenge her to grow. Seeking your opinion is more than asking a question. It is an expression of trust, admiration, and a desire for deeper connection. When a woman compliments your character, it is more than just flattery. It is a reflection of how deeply she sees and values you. She is not merely impressed by what you do, but by who you are at your core. She recognizes the qualities that set you apart, the principles that guide your life, and the strength of your integrity. This kind of admiration goes beyond surface level attraction. It speaks to the respect she has for you as a man. She acknowledges your leadership, your discipline, and your values. She may say things like, "I admire the way you handle challenges," or "You have a strong sense of responsibility." These are not casual compliments, but affirmations of the qualities she respects in you. A woman who values a man's character appreciates his consistency, his commitment to his beliefs, and the way he carries himself with dignity. She notices how you treat others, whether it is with kindness, patience, or wisdom. A woman who admires your character will observe how you speak to people, how you handle conflict, and how you respond under pressure. She may say, "I love how respectful you are to everyone," or "You have a way of making people feel valued." This means she is not only looking at how you treat her, but also how you navigate life as a whole. She encourages the qualities she admires in you, reinforcing the good she sees. When a woman highlights your integrity, work ethic, or compassion, it is because she finds security and inspiration in those traits. She is not just complimenting you, she is affirming the kind of man she believes in. When a woman praises your character, she is revealing that she sees something rare in you, something worth cherishing. When a woman shares personal details with you, it is a sign of trust, emotional connection, and a desire for deeper intimacy. She does not open up to just anyone. She reserves her vulnerabilities for those she feels safe with. Sharing her thoughts, dreams, fears, and past experiences is her way of letting you into her world, showing that she values your presence beyond casual conversation. She tells you about her dreams and aspirations because she wants you to understand what drives her. She may speak about her passions, career goals, or the things she hopes to achieve in life. This is not just small talk. It is her way of revealing what truly matters to her. When a woman shares her vision with you, it means she sees you as someone who might walk alongside her in that journey. She opens up about her struggles, past experiences, and even painful moments. This is significant because women do not share their wounds with those they do not trust. She may talk about challenges she has faced, mistakes she has made, or lessons she has learned. If she is willing to be vulnerable, it means she believes you are someone who will not judge her, but rather understand and support her. She expresses her emotions honestly, telling you when she feels happy, frustrated, or uncertain. A woman who shares how she truly feels is inviting you into her emotional world. She may say things like, "I feel safe talking to you," or "I don't usually share this with people, but I feel like I can with you." This is not a casual interaction. It is an indication that she sees you as someone special, someone she can be herself with. When a woman uses inclusive language, it is a sign that she is beginning to see you as part of her world. She does not speak in terms of I and me alone. She starts to say we and us. This shift in language is not accidental. It reflects the way she views your presence in her life. A woman does not include a man in her thoughts and plans unless she envisions him as someone significant. She makes future references that involve both of you. She might say, "We should try this restaurant together," or "One day we should travel to this place." These are not just passing comments. They are indications that she is thinking beyond the present moment. When a woman starts speaking about shared experiences in the future, it means she is mentally placing you in her life long term. She expresses a sense of partnership by using phrases like, "We make a great team," or "We always have the best conversations." This is not just about making conversation. It is a reflection of how she feels when she is with you. She sees compatibility, connection, and alignment, and she verbalizes it through words that create a sense of unity. She also starts considering your opinion in decisions, even in small matters. She may say, "What do you think we should do?" or "We need to figure this out." This shows that she values your presence as an active part of her life. A woman who sees a future with a man will naturally begin to speak in a way that reflects togetherness, because in her heart, she is already creating space for him. When a woman notices small details about you, it is a sign that she is paying close attention, not just to what you say, but to who you are. Women do not invest their energy in remembering details about someone unless that person holds significance in their lives. If she recalls the little things, it means she values you enough to truly listen, observe, and appreciate even the subtle aspects of your personality. She remembers things you mention in passing, whether it was your favorite food, a childhood memory, or a small preference you once shared. She might say, "I know you love your coffee black, so I got this for you." Or, "You once told me this song means a lot to you." This is not coincidence. It is intentional. It shows that your words matter to her, and she stores them in her heart. She notices your habits, the way you carry yourself, and the little things that make you unique. She might point out how you always straighten your watch before speaking, or how you tap your fingers when thinking. A woman who likes you observes these details, not to criticize, but because she is drawn to the essence of who you are. She compliments things about you that others overlook. While most people may comment on surface level traits, she notices deeper aspects of your personality. She might say, "I love how patient you are with people," or "I admire how disciplined you are with your goals." These observations reveal that she sees beyond what is obvious. She sees the depth of your character. A woman who remembers the small details is a woman who values you. It means she is not just hearing you. She is truly listening, connecting, and appreciating you in a way that is rare and meaningful. When a woman expresses concern for your well-being, it is a clear sign that she genuinely cares about you beyond the surface level. She is not just interested in casual conversations or fleeting moments. She wants to know how you are doing, what is on your mind, and whether you are truly okay. A woman does not invest her emotions in someone unless she feels a deep connection, and her concern is one of the strongest ways she shows it. She notices when something is off, even when you have not said a word. She might ask, "You seem a little quiet today. Is everything okay?" Or, "You don't look like yourself. Do you want to talk?" This shows that she is in tune with your emotions, paying attention to your energy and mood. She does not just listen to your words, she observes how you carry yourself. And when something feels different, she wants to understand why. She checks in on you, especially when she knows you're going through a tough time. If she knows you have a stressful day ahead, she might send a message saying, "I hope everything goes well for you today." If she hears you are unwell, she follows up with, "Are you feeling any better?" These small yet meaningful gestures reveal that she is thinking about you even when you are not around. She encourages you to take care of yourself, reminding you to rest, eat well, or slow down when she sees you pushing too hard. She might say, "Don't forget to take a break," or "You work so hard, make sure you get some rest." This is not just polite advice. It is her way of showing that your well-being matters to her. When a woman genuinely likes you, she does not just admire your strengths. She also wants to support you through your struggles. When a woman truly likes you, she does not always say it outright. She shows it in the way she speaks, the words she chooses, and the depth of her attention. She values your presence, seeks your opinion, admires your character, and entrusts you with her personal thoughts. She includes you in her vision, notices the smallest details about you, and expresses genuine concern for your well-being. These are not just words, they are reflections of her heart. But the real question is, do you recognize it? Many men miss these signs because they expect love to be loud, obvious, and undeniable. But true admiration and affection are often revealed in the subtleties. If a woman speaks to you in these ways, it is because she sees something rare in you, something worth investing in. The way a woman speaks to a man she respects and values is different from the way she speaks to just anyone. So if you hear these words from her, do not take them lightly. Pay attention, honor the trust she places in you, and most importantly, be the kind of man who is worthy of such admiration. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today with a message that has the power to change your life. There is a kind of beauty that cannot be bought, borrowed, or faked. It is not found in the latest fashion, the perfect figure, or the admiration of 1,000 eyes. No, real beauty, the kind that captivates, the kind that lingers in the minds of those who meet you, comes from something much deeper. A truly attractive woman is not just a woman who turns heads. She is a woman who turns hearts, who leaves an impact, who carries herself with a grace that cannot be imitated. She is attractive not because the world tells her so, but because she has discovered something within that makes her shine. A woman of confidence walks with a different stride. She does not lower her shoulders to fit in, nor does she shrink herself to make others comfortable. She knows who she is, she knows what she brings, and she refuses to beg for anyone's approval. Confidence is not arrogance, it is the quiet assurance that she is enough, just as she is. Her kindness is magnetic. The world is filled with beauty that fades, but kindness is a fragrance that lasts forever. She does not need to announce her goodness, it is felt in the way she treats the people around her. Her words heal, not hurt. She lifts up rather than tear down. And because of this, she is unforgettable. She is a woman of mystery, and that makes her irresistible. Not everything about her is open for the world to see. She is not desperate to be understood, nor does she feel the need to explain herself to everyone. She knows that those who truly seek her heart will take the time to understand her. She is selective not because she is arrogant, but because she values herself. A strong woman is an attractive woman, not because she has never felt pain, but because she has risen above it. She has walked through storms, yet she does not look like what she has been through. She carries herself with resilience, dignity, and quiet strength. She is not afraid to walk alone because she knows she is never truly alone. She is driven by purpose. She does not wait for someone to complete her because she is already whole. She chases her dreams, invests in her growth, and builds a life of meaning. She does not compete with others. She competes with the woman she was yesterday. Her ambition is not selfish, but a reflection of her passion for life. And above all, she respects herself. She does not tolerate disrespect. She does not stay where she is not valued. She does not give her energy to those who take her for granted. She knows her time is precious, her presence is a privilege, and her heart is worth protecting. When she enters a room, she commands attention not by force, but by the way she carries herself with honor. Most importantly, she is authentic. She does not pretend to be someone she is not. She does not change her essence to please the crowd. She embraces her quirks, her flaws, and her uniqueness. She understands that real beauty is found in being unapologetically herself. A highly attractive woman is not just someone who looks good. She is someone who feels good about herself, about her life, and about the impact she makes on others. The world will always try to define beauty by shallow standards, but true attractiveness is something the world cannot take away. It is found in confidence, kindness, strength, purpose, respect, mystery, and authenticity. True attractiveness is not found in mere physical appearance, but in the way a woman carries herself. Confidence is the silent language of self-worth. An invisible aura that draws people in without a single word being spoken. It is not arrogance or pride, but an unshakable belief in one's value. A confident woman walks into a room and without trying, she commands attention. She does not seek validation from others because she already knows who she is. She understands that her worth is not determined by how others perceive her, but by the way she perceives herself. She does not shrink to make others comfortable. She does not apologize for taking up space, nor does she second guess herself in fear of judgment. She moves with purpose, knowing that she belongs wherever she chooses to be. The strength in her posture, the calmness in her voice, and the certainty in her decisions all reflect a deep-rooted self-assurance that cannot be easily shaken. When she speaks, she does so with clarity and conviction, not to impress, but because she believes in what she says. She is unbothered by comparison because she recognizes that her uniqueness is her power. She does not envy others, nor does she waste time trying to fit a mold that was never meant for her. Instead, she embraces her individuality, allowing her authenticity to shine. Whether she is dressed in the finest clothes or something simple, it is her confidence that makes her stand out. Her security is not dependent on the compliments she receives or the opinions of the crowd. She does not measure herself by fleeting standards of beauty or temporary successes. Her confidence comes from within, from the battles she has fought and the victories she has claimed. She carries the lessons of her past with grace, never allowing failures to define her, but using them as stepping stones to greater strength. Kindness is a force that transcends appearances, a quality that makes a woman unforgettable. It is not just about being polite or well-mannered. It is a reflection of her heart, the way she treats others even when no one is watching. A woman with genuine kindness carries a warmth that draws people in, making them feel safe, valued, and understood. She does not perform acts of kindness for recognition, but because it is simply who she is. Her words uplift rather than tear down, and her presence brings comfort rather than chaos. She listens with intention, not just to respond, but to understand. She does not rush to judge, nor does she seek to belittle others to feel superior. Instead, she sees the potential in people, encouraging them to rise to their best selves. When she speaks, there is a softness in her tone, a grace in her delivery that makes even difficult conversations easier to receive. She has no need to prove her strength by being harsh, for she knows that true strength lies in gentleness. Her kindness extends beyond those she knows. She is considerate to strangers, patient in difficult moments, and generous even when she has little to give. It is in the way she acknowledges the unnoticed, the way she offers a smile that brightens someone's day, or the way she extends a helping hand without expecting anything in return. She understands that small gestures can leave lasting impressions and that true beauty is found in a compassionate spirit. Even in a world that can be cold and unkind, she does not allow bitterness to harden her heart. She chooses love over resentment, forgiveness over grudges and grace over cruelty. Her kindness is not a weakness, but a quiet strength that changes lives, leaving a lasting impact long after she is gone. There is an undeniable allure in a woman who does not reveal everything about herself too soon. She carries an air of mystery, not because she is hiding something, but because she understands the value of privacy. She does not feel the need to explain herself to everyone, nor does she lay all her thoughts, emotions, and experiences bare for the world to see. She chooses carefully who she allows into her inner circle, knowing that not everyone deserves access to her mind and heart. She does not chase attention, yet she effortlessly draws it. People are intrigued by her because there is always more to discover. Unlike those who seek validation by oversharing, she understands the power of being reserved. She speaks with purpose, listens more than she talks, and values depth over surface level interactions. When she does open up, her words carry weight because they are not given carelessly. She is intentional with her presence, never desperate to be seen, but impossible to overlook. She is selective with whom she invests her time and energy. She does not entertain meaningless relationships or friendships that drain her spirit. She values quality over quantity, knowing that a few genuine connections are far more valuable than a crowd of insincere admirers. She does not allow just anyone into her life, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. She understands that energy is precious and that surrounding herself with the right people will elevate her rather than diminish her. This sense of mystery and selectiveness makes her all the more attractive. She does not need to prove her worth to anyone because she already knows it. She lets others earn the privilege of knowing her on a deeper level, making her presence feel like a rare and valuable gift rather than something easily attained. A woman with emotional strength carries herself with a quiet power that cannot be easily shaken. She has faced disappointments, heartbreaks, and setbacks, yet she does not allow them to define her. Instead of being consumed by pain, she transforms it into wisdom. She understands that emotions are a part of life, but she does not let them control her. She feels deeply, but does not break easily. She knows how to navigate challenges with resilience, facing hardships with a mindset that refuses to be defeated. She does not depend on external validation to feel secure. Whether she is praised or criticized, loved or overlooked, she remains steady because her sense of worth is not built on the opinions of others. She has learned that people will come and go, circumstances will change, and life will test her in ways she never expected. Yet, through it all, she remains unwavering, not because she does not feel pain, but because she refuses to be ruled by it. Her strength is evident in her ability to stay composed under pressure. She does not react impulsively to negativity, nor does she allow emotions to cloud her judgment. She takes time to process, reflect, and respond with wisdom rather than emotion-driven impulses. When challenges arise, she does not crumble, she strategizes. When life knocks her down, she rises stronger. She sets boundaries that protect her peace and does not allow others to manipulate her emotions. She loves deeply but wisely, knowing that not every person deserves her vulnerability. She embraces her struggles as opportunities for growth and refuses to play the victim. Her emotional strength makes her incredibly attractive, not because she is unbreakable, but because no matter what she faces, she chooses to rise, to heal, and to keep moving forward with grace and dignity. A woman who lives with purpose carries a rare energy that makes her undeniably attractive. She is not merely existing or waiting for life to happen. She is creating, building, and pursuing something greater than herself. She does not depend on relationship status or material possessions to define her worth. Instead, she is driven by a deeper mission, the calling that fuels her every decision. She wakes up each day with intention, knowing that her time is valuable and her life has meaning. She is passionate about growth and self-improvement. She invests in her knowledge, her skills, and her inner development, understanding that true success is not about outward achievements alone, but about becoming the best version of herself. She does not wait for opportunities to come to her. She seeks them, creates them, and makes things happen. Her ambition is not rooted in competition, but in a genuine desire to fulfill her potential and make a difference. Her purpose is not limited to a career or a title. It is woven into everything she does. Whether she is a leader, an artist, an entrepreneur, or a caregiver, she pours herself fully into her work, knowing that even the smallest efforts can have a lasting impact. She does not waste time on distractions or meaningless pursuits because she understands that her life is too precious to be lived aimlessly. She is not easily swayed by temporary pleasures or the opinions of others. She is focused, disciplined, and unwavering in her pursuit of what truly matters. She knows that external validation is fleeting, but the fulfillment that comes from walking in purpose is lasting. When she speaks, her words inspire. When she moves, her actions motivate. She is a force, not because she seeks attention, but because she lives with vision, passion, and an unshakable sense of direction. A woman who respects herself carries herself with a quiet dignity that commands the same respect from others. She does not beg for love, attention, or validation because she knows her worth is not dependent on external approval. She sets high standards for how she is treated, not out of arrogance, but because she understands that self-respect is the foundation of all relationships. She does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or mistreatment, and she gracefully walks away from anything that diminishes her value. She respects her time and energy, knowing that they are precious. She does not entertain negativity, gossip, or unnecessary drama. She surrounds herself with people who uplift her, challenge her to grow, and appreciate her presence. She understands that not everyone deserves access to her life, and she is intentional about who she allows into her space. Her respect for herself is evident in the way she speaks, dresses, and carries herself. She does not seek attention through desperation or compromise her values for temporary validation. She embraces her authenticity and does not conform to society's changing expectations. She does not lower her standards to fit in, but stands firm in her beliefs and principles. Her respect extends beyond herself. She treats others with kindness and honor, regardless of status or background. She listens attentively, speaks with grace, and acknowledges the worth of those around her. She does not belittle, manipulate, or use people for personal gain. Instead, she uplifts, encourages, and inspires. Even when faced with disrespect, she does not retaliate with bitterness, but maintains her composure, knowing that her strength lies in her ability to rise above pettiness. She walks with a presence that says she is valuable, and because she carries herself with self-respect, the world cannot help but respond to her with the same. A woman who embraces her authenticity is magnetic. She does not try to fit into a mold or conform to society's expectations just to be accepted. She knows that her uniqueness is her power, and she refuses to shrink herself for the comfort of others. She is unapologetic about who she is, not because she is rebellious, but because she understands that true beauty lies in being real. She does not pretend to be someone she is not, nor does she seek approval by imitating trends or following the crowd. Her presence is refreshing because she is genuine in everything she does. She speaks her truth with confidence, not to impress, but because she believes in what she says. She does not hide behind masks or water down her personality to be more likable. Instead, she embraces her quirks, flaws, and strengths as part of what makes her extraordinary. She values depth over superficiality and chooses meaningful connections over temporary validation. She is not afraid to stand alone if it means staying true to herself. She does not change her character to please others, nor does she compromise her values for acceptance. She walks her own path, unbothered by criticism or comparison, because she understands that authenticity cannot be faked. What makes her truly attractive is not just her confidence, but her ability to be herself in a world that constantly pressures people to be something they are not. Her uniqueness is her strength, and she wears it with pride. She does not apologize for her dreams, ambitions, or the way she sees the world. She embraces every part of herself with grace, knowing that the right people will be drawn to her not because she fits in, but because she dares to stand out. A highly attractive woman is not defined by her appearance alone, but by the strength of her character, the depth of her heart, and the authenticity she radiates. She understands that true beauty comes from within, from confidence that doesn't seek validation, kindness that uplifts others, emotional strength that overcomes adversity, and a life driven by purpose. She knows that respecting herself and others sets the foundation for meaningful connections, and embracing her uniqueness without apology is what makes her truly unforgettable. In a world that often tries to fit women into predefined molds, a woman who embodies these qualities stands out as a force of nature, inspiring others to embrace their own worth. She is proof that true attraction is not about perfection, but about being unapologetically yourself and owning every aspect of who you are. When you walk in your truth, live with intention, and love yourself deeply, the world will recognize and celebrate the extraordinary woman you are. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. What separates an ordinary woman from an extraordinary one? What distinguishes those who merely exist from those who rise, thrive, and leave a legacy? The answer lies in wisdom. Not just knowledge, not just experience, but wisdom. The ability to see beyond the moment, to make decisions that shape the future, and to walk with divine purpose. Today, I want to talk to you about 7 unshakable rules that smart women follow. These are not just principles, they are keys that unlock power, purpose, and greatness. If you grasp these truths, they will transform your life. A woman who does not know her value will always settle for less than she was created for. The way you see yourself determines the way others treat you. If you see yourself as insignificant, you will attract people who reinforce that belief. But if you understand that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, you will walk with confidence, make wise decisions, and refuse to accept anything that diminishes your worth. From the beginning of time, the enemy has tried to deceive women into believing they are less than what God created them to be. Society has placed labels on women, measuring their worth by their appearance, relationship status, or material possessions. But none of these things define you. Your value does not come from people's opinions. It does not come from what you have or don't have. It comes from the one who created you with divine intention. A priceless jewel does not lower its value just because someone refuses to pay the price. Likewise, a woman who knows her worth does not beg for love, respect, or opportunities. She understands that settling for less is an insult to the greatness inside her. She refuses to engage in relationships that drain her, tolerate environments that diminish her, or accept treatment that contradicts her dignity. When you know your value, you stop seeking validation from external sources. You stop compromising your standards for temporary approval. You stop comparing yourself to others because you recognize that your uniqueness is your strength. You walk with assurance, not arrogance, but a quiet confidence that says, I am enough. Your decisions, your relationships, and your future all begin to align with the truth that you were created for more, and you refuse to live beneath your potential. A woman who masters emotional intelligence is a woman who holds power, not over others, but over herself. Emotions are a natural part of life, but they were never meant to control your decisions, your relationships, or your destiny. A smart woman understands that emotions are indicators, not dictators. They reveal what is happening inside her, but they do not have the authority to lead her. Life will bring moments of disappointment, betrayal, and frustration. People will test your patience. Circumstances will challenge your peace. But the question is, how will you respond? A woman who lacks emotional intelligence reacts impulsively. She allows anger to push her into regretful words, jealousy to lead her into unnecessary competition, and fear to keep her from pursuing her purpose. But a wise woman governs her emotions with wisdom and discernment. She does not let temporary feelings dictate permanent decisions. Self-control is a mark of true strength. Proverbs 16:32 says, he who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. This means that real power is not found in physical strength or loud words, but in the ability to remain steady in the face of challenges. A woman with emotional intelligence chooses her battles wisely. She knows when to speak and when to be silent. She understands that not every offense requires a reaction, and not every disagreement deserves her energy. When you master your emotions, you walk in peace. You stop being easily offended. You no longer give people the power to control your joy. You learn to navigate relationships with wisdom, resolve conflicts with grace, and make decisions based on purpose rather than pressure. And in doing so, you step into a life of clarity, strength, and unshakable confidence. A woman who chases popularity may gain applause, but a woman who pursues purpose gains fulfillment. Popularity is fleeting. It is built on trends, opinions, and external validation, but purpose is eternal. It is rooted in identity, calling, and divine assignment. A smart woman understands that she was not created to impress people, she was created to impact lives. The world constantly pressures women to conform, to seek approval, to fit in. But fitting in often means shrinking, compromising, and abandoning the very essence of who you are. When you live for the opinions of others, you become a prisoner to their expectations. You begin to measure your worth by how many people like you, follow you, or applaud you. But the truth is, chasing popularity will always leave you empty because it demands that you sacrifice authenticity for acceptance. Purpose, on the other hand, gives meaning to your existence. It fuels your passion, directs your decisions, and brings a deep sense of fulfillment that no amount of public recognition can replace. Look at the greatest women in history. None of them were focused on being liked. They were focused on their mission. They refused to be distracted by temporary validation because they understood that their work was bigger than their reputation. Jesus himself was not concerned with popularity. One moment the crowd celebrated him, the next they crucified him, but he remained focused on his assignment. A smart woman follows the same principle. She refuses to let applause inflate her or criticism break her. She is guided by her calling, not by claps. She understands that purpose is not about being seen. It's about making a difference. And when a woman chooses to walk in purpose, she may not always be popular, but she will always be powerful. A woman who does not set boundaries will always find herself exhausted, disrespected, and unfulfilled. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about protecting what is valuable, and you are valuable. A smart woman understands that her time, energy, and peace are precious, and she refuses to allow anyone or anything to drain her without purpose. People will take as much as you allow. If you tolerate disrespect, it will continue. If you give unlimited access to people who do not honor you, they will misuse that access. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It is recognizing that not everyone deserves a seat at your table, and not everything requires your attention. Some women struggle with boundaries because they fear disappointing others. They say yes when they want to say no. They overextend themselves, believing that love means sacrifice, even when that sacrifice costs them their own well-being. But hear this: loving yourself enough to set limits is not selfish. It is necessary. Jesus himself had boundaries. He loved the crowd, but he did not allow the crowd to control him. He withdrew when he needed rest. He chose his inner circle wisely. He knew that his assignment required focus, and he protected his time and energy accordingly. If the Son of God set boundaries, why shouldn't you? A woman who enforces her boundaries does not feel guilty for walking away from toxic relationships, refusing to engage in unnecessary drama, or prioritizing her peace. She knows that what she allows will continue and what she stops will end. And because she values herself, she only surrounds herself with people who honor, respect, and uplift her. A woman who stops learning is a woman who stops growing. The moment you believe you know enough is the moment you begin to limit your potential. A smart woman understands that knowledge is not just power, it is the foundation for transformation. She does not settle for what she already knows. She continuously seeks wisdom, understanding, and new perspective. Life is a classroom, and every experience, good or bad, is an opportunity to grow. A woman committed to lifelong learning is never stagnant. She reads, she listens, she observes, and she applies. She does not fear new challenges because she knows that every challenge is a lesson in disguise. She does not resist correction because she understands that wisdom is not about being right. It's about being better. Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. This means that wisdom is not optional, it is essential. A woman who seeks wisdom will always rise above the rest. She invests in herself, not just in appearance, but in substance. She does not waste her time on meaningless distractions. She pursues knowledge that sharpens her mind, strengthens her character, and equips her for greatness. Many people wish for success, but few are willing to develop the discipline required to achieve it. A woman who values growth does not wait for opportunities, she prepares for them. She does not fear failure, she learns from it. She does not compare herself to others. She focuses on becoming the best version of herself. And because she never stops learning, she never stops evolving. The people you surround yourself with will either push you toward your destiny or pull you away from it. A smart woman understands that her environment shapes her growth and her relationships determine her future. She does not allow just anyone to speak into her life because she knows that words carry power. She is intentional about the company she keeps, choosing relationships that sharpen her, challenge her, and push her to become better. Not everyone deserves access to you. Some people drain you, distract you, and discourage you. They bring gossip instead of wisdom, confusion instead of clarity, and negativity instead of encouragement. If you are constantly surrounded by people who doubt your dreams, dismiss your value, or delay your progress, it is time to reevaluate your circle. Proverbs 13:20 says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. This means that who you walk with determines what you become. If you want to grow, surround yourself with people who are growing. If you want to succeed, stay close to those who are disciplined and driven. If you want to deepen your faith, connect with those who walk in wisdom and purpose. A smart woman does not chase relationships, she attracts them by being intentional about who she allows into her space. She builds a circle that includes mentors who inspire her, friends who uplift her, and partners who respect her. She understands that loneliness is better than toxic company, and that the right people will not just celebrate her success, but also hold her accountable in her journey. Because when you walk with the right people, you don't just go fast, you go far. A smart woman understands that everything in life happens in seasons. There is a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to wait and a time to move. She does not rush the process, nor does she force what is not yet ready. She knows that what is meant for her will not pass her by, but it will come in its appointed time. Impatience leads to mistakes. Many women have settled for less because they refused to wait. They rushed into relationships that were not meant for them. They pursued opportunities that looked good but were not aligned with their purpose. They tried to force doors open when, in reality, God was preparing a better one. A wise woman does not let desperation lead her. She lets faith guide her. She understands that delay is not denial. It is often divine protection. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, he has made everything beautiful in its time. That means when the time is right, the vision will come to pass. The dream will manifest. The right people will show up. The opportunity will present itself. But until then, she does not waste her waiting season. She prepares. She grows. She sharpens her skills. She deepens her faith because she knows that waiting is not passive, it is purposeful. A woman who trusts in divine timing walks in peace. She does not compare her journey to others. She is not moved by pressure. She knows that when God is ready, no force in this world can stop what he has planned for her. And because she believes this, she does not settle. She does not panic. She simply waits with confidence, knowing that her time is coming. My dear sisters, today I have given you 7 rules, 7 keys to unlock your potential, to walk in wisdom, and to live with purpose. Now the question is, will you follow them? The world needs more smart women Women who are strong, not just in words, but in wisdom. Women who are confident, not because of their status, but because of their substance. Women who don't just chase success, but who fulfill destiny. So my challenge to you today is this: make the decision to live wisely. Don't just hear these words, apply them, walk in them, and when you do, you won't just change your own life, you will change the world. Go be the smart woman you were created to be.